strawberry elderflower cheesecake. So with this cheesecake today, we are making it in the Entremet style. So an entremet is a French mousse cake consisting of many different textures and flavors. So the concept is with each bite, we get a symphony of flavors that complement one another. Now this type of dessert is considered quite fancy, luxurious and exclusive, and I'm going to show you how to prepare now. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is make sure that we have all of our elements prepared, those being our crunchy layer, our genoise sponge cake, and also our strawberry and elderflower jelly insert. So I have prepared all of those things now. So what I'm going to do is I have my sponge cake here. We're going to trim it to the size of the cake that we're making today. So I'm using a 20 by 28 centimeter mousse form. And you can get these fixed like this one, or you can also get the extendable ones as well. So I'm just going to place that over my cake, and I'm just going to trim it so it fits inside. Now we have that prepared. We also have our cookie base here, which we've already prepared, and it's still on the mat, so we want to leave it on the mat. And you just want to pop it onto a board or a tray that's going to be able to fit into your freezer. We're going to take our mousse form and just press down so it cuts into that layer. And then we can just take the excess off. You can reuse this as well. Now we have our mousse frame prepared. We've got our crunchy layer and we have our genoise sponge cake trim. We're just going to pop those aside for now because we're going to be working on the mousse element, our cheesecake mousse. So to our bowl, we're going to be adding our vegan cream cheese. And this is the almond cream cheese that I prepared before. And it's important when we make this mousse that everything is at room temperature. So all our cream cheese and our pastry cream is at room temperature. Okay. So we're just going to beat this until it's nice and smooth. Now we also have some vanilla bean paste or the inside of one vanilla pod. So we're going to be adding that now. And we are using some iota carrageenan and some confectioner's sugar. So we're going to mix those two together. It's not so important, however, it will help disperse the powders just to ensure that we don't get any lumps of the product. And the iota carrageenan is going to allow us to freeze our cheesecake and retain the integrity of the product, so we get a very high quality product that can be frozen. Especially helpful if you are doing catering or you have a bakery. Being able to prepare things ahead of time and freeze is always very helpful. So we're just going to mix this all together. Now goes in our lemon juice. Now in a separate bowl, I'm going to be adding my pastry cream, and you will find a training video in your dashboard of how to prepare your pastry cream. And this is also very important that it is room temperature. If it starts to get a bit firm, you can put it in the microwave just to warm it up. Okay, so we're going to beat this until it's nice and smooth also. Now we can add our cream cheese mixture to our pastry cream. Now at this stage, if you would like to add a little bit of lactic acid, you can, just to give that nice cheesecake-like flavor. Okay, so once that's all combined, we can start whipping up our whipping cream. Just sift in your confectioner's sugar. and beat until soft peaks. Once our whipped cream is at the soft peak stage, and we're going to slowly start adding our whipped cream to our base and just fold together. Once that's all incorporated, we can start assembling our entremet. So we have our crunchy layer all ready to go. And to that, I'm just going to add a little bit of our mousse and just spread that over the top. And this is going to act like a glue for our sponge cake to sit on top. Now we put our sponge cake layer. Just make sure that it's nice and level. Now we're going to add another layer, another thin layer on top of our sponge cake. So now it's time to take your strawberry elderflower jelly out of the freezer. Now we can add our remaining cheesecake mousse. So once that's nice and even, we're going to give it a little tap and just cover the top with a little cling wrap. And we're going to transfer this into the freezer overnight. So I've just taken my cheesecake out of the freezer and I just want to take this plastic off the base. And we want to remove it from its form now. So you can use one of these heat guns or a paint stripper gun to help just release it from the ring mold. So I'm just going to go around it, just get a little bit of heat on there. There we go, and just slide straight off. So I'm going to transfer this back to the freezer just while we prepare our glaze. So I've just prepared my neutral glaze and it's at our working temperature. So we can now put it over our cake. Just make sure you don't have any ice crystals. We're going to just brush those off. Now we're going to set that aside to set before we cut it. Now we can cut our cheesecake into our desired size. I just have some hot water here. And I want to first trim the edges. Now it's time to decorate our strawberry cheesecake entremet. And I have my stable cream topping that I'm going to use. And I'm going to put some fresh strawberries, and if you have elderflowers, you can use those as well. I'm using some rose petals today. And you can decorate these any way that you like. And I have some neutral glaze here that you can use to put a little bit on your cut fruits just to prevent them from drying out. Okay, so once we've got our strawberries on, we can add our flowers. So as mentioned, ideally, if you can get the elderflowers, if they're in season where you are, use some elderflowers. I'm going to be using some rose petals. And there we have it, guys. That's our strawberry elderflower cheesecake.